Welcome to Gosford Hill School. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Nigel Sellars, head teacher here at Gosford Hill School. It's great to see so many of you here, and we really appreciate that many of you have travelled long distances to be with us today. So it's 8 years ago, Easter 2016, since I started at Gosford Hill School. And one of my ambitions when I started was to improve the facilities at Gosford Hill School for the young people of Kidlington, so that we have a school that's fit for 21st century education. So over the early years of my headship, I spent time lobbying the DFE, government officials and local councillors to show them that the school that we've got here is not fit for 21st century education. Then we learned nearly 2 years ago that the school was successful in being the first school in Oxfordshire to be on the DFE Schools Rebuilding Programme. And over the intervening years, a lot of work has gone on before that news was in the public domain. One of the real special features of Gosford Hill School is the sense of pride that the community has in the school. And I know many generations that have gone through the school still live in Kidlington, and we probably educate either their grandchildren or even great-grandchildren. When I take visitors around the school, one of the things that visitors comment on is the quality of relationships between staff and students in school, and that's not changed over the years. I think this is probably the school that I've worked in that has the highest proportion of members of staff who've actually attended the school as a student themselves, and that continues to be the case today. So the purpose of today's festival is to give anyone who wants to look around the school a last opportunity to see the Gosford Hill School as it was with the original buildings, and more importantly to catch up with friends, ex-colleagues and so on, and have an opportunity to reminisce. The demolition work is going to be starting as we move into the later part of the summer and into the autumn, so this is a kind of final opportunity to come together to see the school as it was. You will hopefully have the opportunity to see the archives, and in the archives we have got the original logbook that was written by Herbert Chapman, who was head teacher when the school opened. And I'm now going to take you back to September the 7th, 1932, and the first entry in the logbook reads as follows. It says, "The new Church of England Central School opened today. The number of pupils admitted was 184 students from Kidlington, Yarnton, Islip, Begbrook, Shipton on Cherwell, Water Eaton, Hampton Poyle, Cassington, Noak and Thrupp. The chairman of managers is the Reverend J.H. Carter of Islip, and the correspondent the Reverend W.M. Aist of Hampton Poyle. The staff consists of W.H. Chapman, headmaster, Mr. E. Wallbank, BSc, Miss W.N. Webb, Miss W.E.E. Evans, Mr. W.D. Wixon, Mr. V. Pearson, supply staff, came to visit and to assist, and Miss Robertson, domestic subjects teacher, helped during the day. The visitors included Reverend J.H. Carter, chairman of managers, Mr. Lionel Curtis, Mr. Wynne Wilson, Mr. Kitson, Mr. J.O. Wilson, director of education, Mr. Phillips, HM divisional inspector, Mr. C.B. Hunt, Mr. Heaton, horticultural advisor. The practical subject centre is being pushed forward as quickly as possible." And that's the first log in the head teacher's log when the school opened back in 1932. It's a huge privilege today to welcome back all of the school's former head teachers who are still living. So it's a great pleasure to welcome back Dennis Rowley, David Jones and Steve Bisley. And together we represent nearly half a century of leadership of Gosford Hill School. So hopefully today you'll have the opportunity to view the school archives, look around the school, talk to our existing students, hear many musical performances. And at the end, at about 7:15, I'll say more about the new school in my closing speech. But at this point, all I will say is the project specification is very tight, and whilst it provides the new school, there are other things that we are really keen to do while we've got the opportunity to make the facilities absolutely what we want for the young people of Kidlington and the surrounding areas. And with that in mind, we're trying to improve the specification. One example is the hall won't just be a hall, it will be a purpose-built theatre with all of the facilities so that organisations such as Chaos can use the school and it can be a real community hub. But one of the drawbacks and the challenges that we're facing at the moment is that because all of that sits outside of the specification, we still need to raise money as a school to fund those additional things. Equally, the project does not fund furniture, and we don't want to open a brand new school and take the existing furniture with us. So if you have an opportunity and would like to donate anything towards the school, that would be very much appreciated. We will be doing some fundraising, and that's based in the old library, which is where the archives are. Ultimately, as we get towards the demolition of the school, we do have permission from the contractor to sell off parts of the existing school facility. It's ours to sell off. So some of the fixtures and fittings will be available, and we're going to do that to raise money for the school. So if there's anything you want, there is a room set up in school where you can log your interest, or also you can email us and let us know what you're interested in. And then finally, I thought you'd really appreciate hearing from colleagues, former students through the decades. So we've assembled a number of really important guests who have offered to speak to you this afternoon and to give you their memories of Gosford Hill School. So I'm going to hand over to two of our senior students who are going to introduce them, and I'm sure you'll look forward to hearing from them. Thank you very much.